What I found so exciting and enriching about this collaboratory was the sense we got of the immense cultural differences in the way emotions are understood and produced on a very basic level, the level of what we take to be an emotion, how we think it should be expressed, how we think it can be detected. I thought one of the most interesting papers in this regard was the paper on Aboriginal song, where it's very clear that the songs are full of emotion, but they're not primarily emotions that are well understood in Western culture. They're not expressed through faces, they're expressed through dance. They're not held to come directly out of the inner person of the being, instead they tend to come through the land and from the spirits. But that in turn makes them, it seems to me, often very hard to detect by standard modern psychological means of finding out about emotion. And the corollary of that means that we, I think, as historians, have to be very careful not to impose on the past the kinds of assumptions that we would make about emotions. Not to assume, for instance, that boys couldn't understand the emotions of women, because we had that wonderful plenary speech yesterday talking about how young schoolboys in the Middle Ages, as an exercise, had to try and think themselves into the roles of women like Dido and Niobe and think through that lament and that anguish and express it publicly. Now, it seems to me that that makes our work as the centre so much more important, so much more wide-ranging, so much newer and more original, if we can actually say, let's question every assumption that we've made about the history of emotions, what they are, how they're expressed, what emotional regimes are. Let's see if we can build that understanding new for the